So Lamelo is out for the rest of the season, most likely. It's a wrist injury. He's going to get a second opinion, but it seems like he's going to be out. And given the amount of time until next season begins, on top of the fact that this is a wrist injury, he's probably going to be totally fine once it's healed. I mean, maybe it's possible a wrist injury could affect your dribbling or your shooting, but it seems like he's going to be all right. But still, it super sucks because, well, injuries in general, we don't want anyone to get hurt, but also, who knows what we could have seen from Lamelo for the rest of this season. I mean, as his season ends, 16, 6-6, and 56 true shooting. I mean, the threes were going in. He was being more aggressive going to the line, not taking as many erratic floaters and wild layups and stuff. And I think Lamelo, by the time the season ended, he could have been dropping like at least 20 points a game and doing all the other things he does well. I mean, you just look at some of these recent runs. Like, he had this run from February 22nd to March 1st where he scored over 20 a game. And the big thing with that run was the amount of free throw attempts. He had 8 free throws against the Warriors, 10 against the Kings, 6 against the Blazers. And even the game in which that streak ended, he had 19 points. And I think it would have been interesting to have that conversation of where does LaMelo rank among the best players or the best young guys in the league, because I'm just going to say, like, if LaMelo ended the season averaging, I don't know, 17, 18 a game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, maintaining that efficiency, Hornets make the playoffs. I mean, as of right now, they're the 8th seed. Like, there's not a guarantee they would have made it. Like, they'd probably be in the play-in tournament, but there would have been a chance, and maybe LaMelo in a round 1 series or even in the play-in tournament playing really, really well. I mean, there's a chance he would have ended up in the conversation with, like, Zion and Luka. I don't think that's an exaggeration. Now, it's also possible he could have fallen a little bit short of that, and again, he's going to be back next season, so that conversation's going to continue, but it just would have been really cool to see, especially because I think the Hornets were in the market to try to make their team better. Now, you don't want to go too wild. I don't think they should be moving picks or anything, but I feel like with all the chatter about the amount of guys who could be moved at this deadline, I feel like they could have ended up with just a nice extra guy to add to the team. Maybe they would have pulled off a bigger move if they end up trading Devontae Graham, because, you know, he hasn't been too awesome this year, and with LaMelo and Devontae's free agency coming up, I mean, he still might get traded. So maybe they could have pulled off one more move, and then you got LaMelo and Hayward and Rozier going into the playoffs, and LaMelo being the main guy. It could have just been really fun. In fact, I think it could have even been a bit of like a Luka versus the Clippers in the first round last season. I think LaMelo was on that sort of trajectory. Now, I know people are going to talk about the Rookie of the Year now, and I don't really care at the moment. Like, yeah, I'll have my 2 cents on that sort of thing, but at the moment I'd rather just talk about LaMelo and the Hornets. So what do the Hornets do now? I mean, I already mentioned the Devontae thing, and I do think they should consider trading Devontae. He has been a disappointment this season. I could picture another team thinking that they can get more out of Devontae than the Hornets have, and if the Hornets want to hold on to him, they're going to have to pay him this offseason. So it just seems like the perfect storm of getting something for him. I think they could use another really good wing and a big guy. I don't think there's a great big guy available right now. I mean, they were in the rumors for Vooch. I don't think that was ever a real thing. I think the Magic want to hold on to him. There is also the Miles Turner rumor. We'll have to see. And after that, I mean, if they really wanted Drummond, they could get him, but Drummond's not the difference maker for this Hornets team. So we'll see. Maybe it's just another solid wing guy. They can pair up Devontae's money with Cody Zeller's $15 million, so that can get him up to, you know, somebody who makes close to about $19 to $20 million, especially if they include a couple other smaller contracts as well. They already go with like Bridges at center anyway, so I don't think they view Cody Zeller as essential, even if he's like a solid rotation guy for them still. So we'll see what they want to do. I have to imagine they don't view Zeller as a guy they have to keep past this season. Now, if we can think about the draft pick, I think the Pacers will leapfrog them. The Bulls, maybe. It's not like the Hornets are terrible without LaMelo, but we'll see again if they want to make any moves. So maybe they get into the lottery now. That's, of course, not what your plan was, but it's a possibility. The last thing I want to think about with Charlotte is their offseason, because they are in the unique situation that some teams find themselves in, which is you have a star guy on a rookie contract, and so you have this kind of short amount of time where you can pair that guy up with a max contract before you give that guy his max contract. And the Hornets have this offseason and next offseason, and honestly the offseason after that, to decide when they want to do that. If we look at the free agents this offseason, it might not happen. I mean, Oladipo, I don't know if any team is convinced that Oladipo is going to be really good moving forward. I mean, his trade market's not that good. You have, I don't know, the potential of a John Collins max contract offer. I don't really think they need to do that, but maybe they would. Maybe they would jump in on the Jared Allen conversation. There was some report that somebody thinks he might get like a huge offer in the offseason. We'll have to see. I know some people want them to sign Lonzo. I mean, he would have to be basically a point forward if he was going to be on the Hornets, unless they got rid of Rozier. I think Duncan Robinson is an interesting free agent target for them. The other thing I'm speculating on a bit with them is whether they'd be willing to trade their pick, depending on where it ends up, if it's in the lottery or whatever. Just because it seems like they want to build this team up a little faster than maybe other people would want them to, just because they know LaMelo's really good. I mean, there's the Vooch rumor, of course. There's the signing Hayward in the offseason. There's the Miles Turner rumor, which I don't think the Pacers are going to trade Turner for anybody on the Hornets, but I don't know. Maybe if they end up with the 10th pick, 11th pick, whatever, perhaps they would rather look around the league for something. Now, that said, if I look for guys who could be available who are not like 32 who they could get for a pick, it's kind of tough. I don't think they want Eric Gordon or Luke Kennard. So I don't know, but I just feel like it's something interesting. Like if I had to think of all the teams in the league who would consider trading a pick that they don't super love, I feel like Charlotte, based on what they've done and some of the rumors they've been involved in, they could be one of those teams. But yeah, to get this back to LaMelo, injuries, they're not fun. And this season especially, it seems like we're dealing with it right now. LeBron and AD with the Lakers, Embiid. I've been dealing with it all season with Marcus Smart and Kemba Walker for my Celtics. So, I don't know, do we blame the NBA for the scheduling? I feel like LaMelo's injury was the type of injury that is just kind of a random thing. So yeah, we'll see how the rest of the season goes for the Hornets. We'll wait for LaMelo next season. And one more thing to say about LaMelo.